Good morning. Hi, it's Garry. Welcome to today's live video. Well, chilly day here in Perth, I tell you. Absolutely freezing. We had a beautiful day on Tuesday, 24 degrees Celsius on Tuesday. The next day, 12 was the maximum. And it's been cold like that ever since. Let me just get this up. So this morning, as I'm doing this, the temperature here is 13 Celsius. That works out about 55 Fahrenheit. So the other day, Tuesday, was 24. What's that? Let's just wake the keyboard up. So that was 75, which was nice. That's a nice, pleasant day. I was even thinking, do I start looking at getting my shorts out? I thought, yes, spring's here. But then it let me down and we've gone back to being ever so cold again. How's everybody doing? It's been a bit of a busy week here this week. I was hoping to have done a members-only Zoom yesterday, but my week just absolutely got away with me. So apologies to the members that I did put out a message on the community page. It was just, time flew by. I didn't know where I was, and then before I knew it, it was Friday, and which was then I didn't really have enough time to properly set up for doing that Zoom call. So hopefully we'll do it on this coming Saturday. I'm thinking this week might be a little bit less hectic, so I should have more time to actually work on that. So today's topic. Sorry, I'm coughing already, I tell you. That's this cold weather coming in. Let me just reposition this camera ever so slightly. I keep sliding down in my chair, so my head gets lower and lower. There we go. A little bit better anyway. So today's topic, heat number 1 of the fountain pen tournament. We're going to look at the results. So I'm going to switch over to the screen. So here's the poll. Which pens do you want to see? Which pen do you want to win Heat 1? Let me move the mic a wee bit closer. So there we've got the 3 options. This is actually what came out in the poll. I'm going to go over to my spreadsheet though. I've transposed that into a spreadsheet. So there were 55 people voted, so awesome to see that number. 13 people voted for the Pen BBS 494, which equates to 25%. 19 people voted for the Asvine V169. That equates to 35%. And then winning this heat, 22 people voted for the Hondian 1841, which was 40% of the vote. So well done to the Hondian 1841. And thank you to everybody who voted. For me, if I'd have voted, I would have voted for the Asvine. What was interesting with this, at the start of the week, up to about Wednesday, the Asvine was leading, only by like 5%. Sorry, 1 second. Which was only 2 or 3 votes at the time. But since Wednesday, that 1841's really taken off, which was, to be honest, I think it was good to see that it changing during the week. And this is part of the reason why I wanted to go for 3 pens, because I think that makes it a little bit more interesting. So yeah, congratulations. And the Hondian 1841, that will be going forward into the semi-final number 1, which will be a semi-final of all the Chinese pens. And then this afternoon, I know we'll talk about later on, we'll have the Heat 2, which is, as you can see here, Jinhao 250, the Mahjong P136, and the Kaigaloo 316. So it should be another interesting one. Let's go back to... Oh, no, I am on the... I was going to say... you couldn't see that anyway. I forgot I'd gone back to the camera. So yeah, Heat 2, Jinhao 250, the Mahjong P136, and the Kaigaloo 316. Let me just close out of these. Get that down. I will go over to the comments. So BJ, hello everyone. Welcome to you, BJ. Blonde Scales 1, hello from Arkansas. BJ, hello to Blonde Scales 1. And then Andreas, welcome to you, Andreas. Good morning all. John, over there in New York, welcome to you. We've got Ricardo. Good morning, everyone. I believe from memory, Ricardo's in London. BJ, I keep forgetting that some are from the future here. Absolutely. That's a nice thing living over here in Australia, living in the future. I'm not sure what it's about 12 or 13 hours from the west coast of the US. So east coast US is that what, 12 or 13 hours? So that'll be about 9 or 10 hours, something like that. BJ, still night in the US East Coast. Ron, greetings from New York. Love the jolly clarinet player. I don't know why. That's another word which I can't get my tongue around. Blonde Scales 1, life is highly skilled at ruin your plans. Absolutely. This was about the hope to do the members only thing. BJ, I was writing with an Asvine today. Yeah, I do like that Asvine. It's very, very wet. That's the only really downside from it. And Ricardo, yep, from London. So I'm trying to learn where people are from. Old man brain, though, sometimes makes it a bit hard. Let me just refresh. So wrong one to refresh. Blonde Scales 1. I still can't get my New Zealand friend to give me the winning lottery numbers. I know what you mean. We could have done with that. I know in the UK, I think is it the Euro Millions during this week, they were having a rollover. My daughter ran me ever so excited because it was something like £125 million or something like that. You know, a really silly number. So she called us. What day was it? It might have been Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember what the exact day. Wanting a series of numbers so she can go and put some tickets on to see if we can actually be worth knowing. But seeing as she hasn't run us back and said we won, I'm assuming we're not worth knowing. Let's have another mouthful of tea. So today's mug, I didn't show it. It's the Mandalorian. There we go. And it's my usual peppermint tea. It's from a company called, I think it's called Queen Victoria, but yeah, peppermint tea. I used to drink a lot of Twinings teas. Oh, well, they're not teas really. People call them that. Is it a herbal something or other? And then we were shopping one day in Coles, which was one of our local supermarkets. And tight ass Garry saw that these were on offer. These Queen Victoria ones at half price. So I thought, well, let's get them to try. And actually, I really like them. I like them more than what I do the Twinings teas. BJ, my Asvine has a nice extra fine nib. That's a V2126. And BJ, again, pretty soft for a production steel nib. They are. I find something very similar with the P20, which is my other Asvine pen. They seem to be quite a wet. That seems to be quite a wet writer as well. I do want to get some more Asvine pens, over the coming months, and then eventually I'll try and do looking at a number of Asvine pens to see what the differences are. But let me just refresh the comments, and then we'll swap over to the pens. Because I've done a short topic today, I seem right ahead of myself. Okay, so let's head over to the overhead camera. We'll take a look at the pens I've been using this week. So here we are, pens for the week ending the 7th of September. Now I'm going to turn this slightly to a side, purely because, being a bit selfish, it makes it easier for me to write. So here's the first pen. This is the pen that I've used every week for my replies on my comments. Not comments, on my quotes that I do every day. I'm agitating this because there's, I can never remember if it's a shimmer or a chameleon. I think it's a shimmer. I just want to make sure I give the chance to get it all into suspension, because with this one, I've been seeing loads of that shimmer coming through every time I've used it. So this is a Just Turnings pen. So that's from Brisbane, handmade by Stephen just over there in Brizzy. The wood, well, it's not wood, it's a resin, and it's called elven wood. So it's not a wooden pen, it's a resin pen. It's a Brooks Blanks one, I say this Elvenwood, absolutely beautiful. He's finished it off. He suggested a matte finish. So, obviously I'm going to go with what he suggests because he knows the material. Absolutely stunning pen. Well, all my handmade. Let's start again, Garry. All my handmade pens are stunning pens. Sorry. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Cartridge converter. So let's just take that off. I can't remember how much. I think I refilled this. Yeah, I did. I refilled this during the week because it was running out, and I've been really enjoying it. Hang on, but yeah, I bet if I get it in camera, isn't it? So just you can see there. Just tapping that, see if that'll free that shimmer that was sat there. Beautiful pen. The nib is a Mr. Cypress or a Cypress steel nib. This is in broad. The only one I've got of this nib, so I'm giving it a try. I thought, let's try something different. I just managed to get ink there on my hand. Let's just wipe it off with the other hand so I can spread it around. So this is the Just Turn-ins. Hopefully some of that shimmer will come out. The model is called Enceladus. And it's a broad nib. Cost for this pen, 195 Aussie dollars when I bought it. Chances are that's gone up in price. Contact Stephen, he can give you the latest pricing. The ink, Diamine. And it's Yule Log. Not seeing a lot of that shimmer coming through. Let's put down a bit of a... Just give it a bit more agitation. We'll leave that a few seconds, see if that comes out. When I've been doing my writing during the week, as soon as I was putting it down, I was seeing this beautiful, like, coppery finish to it. Not really seeing much at all coming out in this one. Well, that's disappointing. Let me just grab my writing pad. So this is a pad I've been using. It's a cheaper one from a supermarket. Let me just go. Just going to go and hopefully get one where I can. I mean, this one here, hopefully you can see it. Really captures the light. I know, killing time, aren't I, a little bit? Let's go back another day. There we are. Look at that. You control your reactions. Beautiful copper there coming through. I'm hoping that the camera is catching that. So that was what I was using all week. The next pen. This is from Sunday of last week and, strangely enough, from yesterday, given there's only 6 pens. That gives me a little bit of a turnaround. This is by Mr. Pen, and it's the Parsons Essential. Now, the guy, Mr. Pen, he's now retired, so he's not making pens anymore, which is a shame. But, I mean, I think he was well into his 70s, so I can understand him that he would want to retire. So somebody was asking about it during the week, so I think you've got to now look on that second-hand market for these. Cartridge converter, there we go. A little bit of ink left in here. Not sure if I'm going to refill this, although I have been enjoying it. The nib on here is a medium oblique cursive. Really nice. I've been having to force myself to think about how I hold this pen to make sure I've got the right orientation. Yesterday there was quite an interesting video by Doodlebud where he was looking at oblique nibs, and I found that really interesting. So we've got here, got to remember to turn it a little bit rather than how I would normally hold it. A Mr. Pen, the Parsons Essential. Say medium oblique cursive. Price for this pen is about 90 Aussie dollars. The ink by Diamine. and it's Brandy Snap. Beautiful, gorgeous brown ink, Brandy Snap. Andreas, I think it was you last week who was going to order some of these Inkrent inks. Did you end up getting them? Have you been able to put any of them into a pen? Anyway, that's the Parsons Essential. The next pen, and also the pen I'm using today, this is the Pelican, and it's the M205. This is blue marble. Beautiful pen. I do find it's a short pen. There it is. It's usable. I prefer this posted. So we've got here a Pelican M205. And it's got a broad nib. Price wise, you're looking at about 192 Aussie dollars. 192. Most of the pen prices, what I do is I get them from Cult Pens in the UK. If they don't sell them at Cult Pens, I then go to Apple Boom. And if they don't have it, then I'll try a number of different sites over in the US until I find somewhere which still sells it or sells something like it, so I can give you an idea of price. The ink is by Diamine, and it's one more sleeve. Do you know, I really love this ink colour. I didn't think I would. I thought I'll use it because I want to start using it, well, as you know, my inks. But I'm really liking this. It's a blue, obviously, but it's an unusual shade. To me, it's got like a lot of grey in it, so it's like a grey blue. So that's that M205. Next, from Leonardo, we've got the White Salt Ferrari. Really nice. Love this white salt pattern. It's the standard size, so here we go. I know there's a grande size as well. Again, saw yesterday, I think it was on Tiki Toki, Aidan Bernal. He was showing off his latest Leonardo, which he got from the San Francisco Pen Show, which was a grande version of a Ferrari. That one had a gold nib. This is steel. Wow, it looked such a nice pen though. So we've got here a Leonardo Ferrari with a 1.1 stub nib. Price wise, we're looking about 245 Aussie dollars. This one I actually had to get the price off the Leonardo website. The ink by Diamine, and it's Serenity. Nice dark blue ink. You could get away with this as nearly black, but you would know it is actually dark blue. I believe, I'm not 100% sure if it comes out. I can also see a red sheen in this. Certainly on the LEON there. That's really coming out quite strongly as it's drying. So that's the Ferrari. We're going to do a hop, skip and a jump and head over to Germany for the Diplomat Aero. Now I know there's loads of different patterns, colours in this. There's also what's it called? I can't remember the exact name. I want to say Nexus, but I think that's wrong. Where the bands there's bands going round rather than along the body. When I was looking, I decided to go for this. They call it the factory finish. It's raw aluminium. I just love it. It's simple. It's streamlined. It's an unusual shape for the pen. Really nice. One thing I don't like, the cap pulls off. Another thing I don't like, section is a wee bit on the slippy side. But still, it's a nice pen. Cartridge converter. I didn't show you with the Leonardo. The Leonardo's a captured converter. There we've got the nib. So we've got here a Diplomat Aero with a broad nib. Price for this 345 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine and it's ash. So this is a grey ink, and when it dries, it's a nice, pleasant grey colour. But whilst it's still wet, I always feel there's some kind of green tinge to it, which I really like. You know, I like green, so I do find this a pleasant ink. 2 more to go. So back to Italy. And we've got here the Tibaldi Bononia in Bora Bora. A pen I don't use often enough. I should use it more often. Beautiful nib on it. Really is. I love this spaghetti pattern. It's really joyous to look at. It's a cartridge converter. There we go. Oh, not a lot of ink left in there. I'm going to have to make some hard decisions today about which ones I'm going to re-ink. I think most of them are getting fairly low. And I've still got a couple of weeks left before I record next month's Pens and Use. So there we go. I can't remember what next month's theme is. Oh, come on, Gary. We'll have a look in a second, shall we? Anyway, it's got a beautiful, gorgeous nib. Very simple looking. I'm not 100% certain. I need to clarify this, and I need to do some more searching. I think it's another Yoho nib, but I'm not 100% certain on that, so please don't quote me. Only thing that I quibble about this is the threads. They feel very scratchy, but as I'm using it, as time goes by, that's easing off quite a lot. So we've got here a Tibaldi Bononia with a broad nib. You've seen a pattern here with the nib sizes. The cost for this is 365 Aussie dollars. The ink, strangely enough, it's by Diamine, and it's Yuletide. Really like this ink colour. It looks at the moment like a bluey green. It's like a teal colour. I find it really nice, really pretty to look at. There we go. So that's the Tibaldi Bononia. The last pen, Waterman, the Waterman Karen. Gorgeous pen. Love this marine amber. Cartridge converter. I think there's a bit more ink left in. Yeah, there's quite a bit of ink left in this one. 18 karat gold nib. It's got that inlaid nib. Very nice. Pen does feel a bit thin. That's one of the downsides. So we've got here, a Waterman Karen with a medium 18K gold nib. Although it's a medium, to me it's a very wide writer. The price, 445 Aussie dollars. The ink is Diamine Yuletide. No, it's not. I don't know. I should be shot. It's Diamine Cardinal. I like that Yuletide so much. It's got it on my brain now. So Diamine Cardinal. This is an ink I thought was going to be a lot redder. It's now, I want to say it's got a bit more pink or orange in it. So it's starting to tend towards what I always assume is like a salmony pinky type colour. It's still really nice though. So that's the Waterman Karen. Let's switch back over to the camera and we'll refresh the comments. Just have to wait. My keyboard goes to sleep after 5 minutes to save battery. So that means I have to refresh it every time I go to use it. So just heading on up. And here we go. BJ, the Elves pen, absolutely. So throwing a tissue on the floor. And it's the reason I bought that pen. It was that material. I very much, as you may have noticed from what I read, I love heroic fantasy and stuff. I'm currently watching season 2 of The Rings of Power. I loved it this week. I know it's going to be a little bit of a spoiler, but I loved seeing Tom Bombadil. I think that was a character so much missing from the Lord of the Rings movies. So it was really nice to see him. My favourite race, though, when I'm reading all these books, is the elves. I love the Shannara series because that's got a lot of elves in it. That's by Terry Brooks. Once I've finished the Terry Goodkind books, I've still got quite a few to go, so it's going to be well into next year. I intend to go back to the Shannara series. Not going to start from the beginning. I'm going to start from where I got to, because I was rereading them until maybe late last year, which is when I switched over to Terry Brooks. But anyway, that's why I got it. Elvenwood. Loved the name. So it was purely, I wouldn't have cared what it looked like, to be honest. It was purely the name. BJ, yep. Blonde Scales 1, based on his Facebook page, one of the pens decided to get revenge. Which post was that from, Blonde Scales 1? And I can go and pull it up. BJ, I've been wanting to try Yule Log. Definitely up my alley. Yeah, it's nice. I say, it's a shame the way it's dried on here. This is Midori MD cotton pad. Don't really see much of that sheen coming through, but certainly is very, very nice. Adia Rose, hi y'all, welcome to you. Blonde Scales 1, BJ, Ricardo, all saying hi back, hi. Bradwave, hi y'all, welcome to you. Then we've got Ricardo and Alia Rose saying hi. Let me just move this down. Alia Rose, I need to use more of the standard Inkvent inks. Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying doing this, trying to use them up. It's forcing me, obviously, to use colours that I haven't and wouldn't have normally used. So even this, as I say, One More Sleep, Ash, not so much of the Yuletide because I did use that occasionally. I like that. Brandy Snap, I like Cardinal. So it's forcing me to use up some of these inks. I'll use them. And as I'm doing that, I'm really finding out that I'm really loving them again. Andreas, funny you should mention it, Gary. I'm listening whilst watching the new inks. I nearly didn't get them this week after I added the 2 new Lamy AL Stars to the order. Love the Winter Spice and all the best. Yeah, Winter Spice is lovely. I like the to me, it's got a lovely green sheen to it, which reminds me of walking through a wood. So you've got the darkness of the brown and then that green on top of it, like moss on top of a tree as you're walking through. The new one, I was showing the Lamy AL Stars to my wife yesterday. I do like I've only got one of each, and I think that's one of each. I've got one AL Star and one Safari. And I've got to be honest, none of the other ones really grab me. If I see a colour that does grab me in the future, I will get it, because I do want to get all the Lamy nib sizes, because I think that would be quite interesting. But yeah, I saw them and she said, oh, they're a bit bland, aren't they? Blonde Scales 1. Next month is birthday ink samples time for me. Awesome. Is that from, is it Goulet does that? I'm sure there was somewhere that does birthday inks. BJ, there we go. I skipped ahead. I've considered picking up an Aero. I like my Aero. It's my only Diplomat pen. A number of people have recommended the A2 model to me. I think it was the A2. Elots is the one where the stripes are going around it. Yeah, I knew it would eventually come to me. It's nice. I've got to be honest, at the price, I don't intend to get another one. I'm glad I've got this one, though. I think it's worth having one. But they're not cheap. I think for that money, you could get a lot of different pens. The Bononia, which is a lot more attractive to look at. Nib rate's roughly the same. It's only $20 more, and it's a more attractive pen. So that's the only thing which I find with the Aero. And even the other colours that they come with, none of them really grab me and excite me. BJ, probably make my next pen a Pilot 743 or an 845. Yeah, I see a lot of people raving about the 743. I've got a Custom Heritage 92, and I've got my what's it? I've forgotten the name. The 845. Love them both. The 92, it's got the smaller number 5 size nib. And it's very, very soft. It's a medium nib, but to me, it writes like a Western. It writes like a Western broad. Absolutely love it. Very, 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 very soft as well. I need to get that. I need to get that out again. I'll have to work out when I can get it out again. Alia Rose, to Blonde Scales 1. I could get my birthday samples, but can't cobble decent order or break down and pay the shipping. I'm just quickly moving forward. There we go. Right. And now I know what next month's theme is. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I think this is a lot of the problem is, getting the stuff. And I always try to do it so I get free shipping, which is what Blonde Scales 1 is saying. Yeah, got to get that free shipping. Absolutely. So like with Cult Pens, I always bank up my orders for that. Same really as I would do over here in Australia. I try to bank up so I can get free shipping. Alia Rose. Also, they seem to love heavily weighting samplers with noodleless inks, which I really dislike. So maybe I will just spend the same dollars to buy a single bottle of Tasha Momo instead. Why am I having to look up? I've got cataracts and sometimes I can't read the writing. So I have to try and adjust where my eyes are so I can see it a bit better. Sometimes it's worth. I earlier this year I used up all my samples. I don't intend to buy any more samples. What I found was they were just stacking up, and I was never using them. So that's why I focused earlier this year to use them all up, and then I've switched that focus once they were all gone onto the Inkvent inks. Ricardo at B. Andreas, just realised I have a problem. I only buy 4 bottles, and with these 6 now, I have 84 full-size bottles and 2 Inkvent calendars. Is that such a thing as Inks Anonymous? as Inks Anonymous? I'm afraid I'm very, very similar with you. I've got loads and loads of inks. I've got 2 boxes. I'll pull one out. I've got 2 of these boxes to give you an idea of the size. I've put an A5 pad on it, so going across, it's about 3 of those across. And in there, this is purely Diamine inks. And by Diamine, I mean the 30ml bottles are for the Inkvent bottles. That's one box. I've got another box which is also full. Then I've got this plastic tub, and that's all the Inkvent inks. So yeah, I'm completely with you on that, and I definitely could do with Inks Anonymous, and this is why I'm on a buy and freeze for inks. I've just got that many. I've got to be honest, I don't know if I'll need any more ink for the rest of my life. BJ, I'll be able to put my inks next month, get my inks next month. I've been wanting to order some nibs anyway. Missed my birthday inks last year. BJ, considering Inkvent this year. I love Inkvent, I really do. As said, was it last week or the week before, I've been in touch with a local company that does Colourverse inks. They are going to be getting the Colourverse colour calendar or whatever it's called, essentially their variant of the Inkvent. So I've already said to them, look, when it comes in, I do want one. I also want some papers from there, so that'll be how I bulk everything together. So I'm just waiting for that to come in. It's meant to be coming in sometime in October. So I've got that ordered. I've also got the Inkvent pre-ordered. We've got a table in one of the other rooms. I've noticed that there's a number of wrapped parcels appearing on it, which are the gifts from my wife. Honestly, I haven't gone feeling any of them. Honest, trust me, I wouldn't do that. So she's wrapping presents up already for Inkvent. The only thing that's outstanding is an advent calendar, because I like the chocolate advent calendars. I don't eat the chocolate, my wife does. So going to be interesting this year when I do those videos in December. I'm going to be calling them an Inky Countdown, because it's not just Inkvent, it's also that colour vent as well, or whatever it's called. I'm really looking forward to doing that. It means the videos will be a bit longer. Past few years, I've tried to keep them down to about 8 minutes in length, because I've got essentially 2 inks each day to do. So they'll be more like 10 or 12 minutes, because with each ink, I like to swatch them on the camera and also do a little writing sample with each of them. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. Blonde Scales 1, already pre-ordered by Inkvent. Absolutely, I don't blame you. Aries, hello, welcome to you, Aries. Blonde Scales 1, just turned his page. He has a pic of his injured finger. Oh, I know, I saw that. I thought, oh, what a shame, especially this time of year, because they run up to Christmas. Was it last week or the week before where I was mentioning about Garry pens, and then 2 days later he put a post up saying he's injured as well and won't be able to make pens for a couple of months. I thought, isn't that just typical? After I was mentioning him and telling everybody how nice his pens are, now he's not going to be able to make them. Ricardo, the 743 is the same nib as the 823, but it's a cartridge converter. Brilliant, thanks for that. I couldn't remember. I just know a lot of people gone about the 743. I might look at one of those myself in the future. Not sure. BJCC, cartridge converter there to Ricardo. BJ, I know it's a number 15. Thought I could trade nibs between the 823 and the 743. The 743, yeah, agree with that. The 743's got a lot more options. I really would like to try the SIG nib that's been shown a lot lately. Again, something I will look at next year. Blonde Scales 1, Goulet does the birthday samples. BJ, yeah, I'm getting it because of a converter pen. Her to swap inks, hard to swap inks frequently in my 823. Yeah, I have that with my 823. What I tend to do when I'm filling it is I'll only half fill it, so that gives me a little bit of time. Ricardo to BJ, thumbs up. Apologies if I pronounce this incorrectly. Fugotsu, Lamy Umbra versus Lamy Vista. Should go for matte or transparency. I don't have either of them, so I can't really advise on that. I don't know. I think, I'm not really into Lamy pens, so yeah, I've not even seen what a Lamy Umbra. So I know the Lamy Vista is essentially a Safari that's transparent, but I've not seen an Umbra. Sorry. Ricardo, go. Blonde Scales 1. I'd worry if those big boxes had more than one layer of bottles. Yeah, the other one has. The other one is essentially all my non-diamine inks. So there's some Pelican inks, Pure Pens, Van Diemen, Pilot, Irishizuku's. So quite a number of different brands in there. Ricardo, for the Vista, if you want to see the ink sloshing around. Yeah, I do. That's why a lot of my pens, I like the transparent ones, to see that ink going around. Alia Rose, my husband had a small windfall which he shared, so now I have both the ink vent and the colour vent coming. Awesome. Yeah, why I'm getting the colour vent, as I showed a couple of weeks ago, with my spreadsheet. I do get a small amount of money each month from YouTube for doing these. It comes from the adverts that you see. I get a little bit of money for each of those, and also from memberships. Don't forget, there is membership available. I'll use this to spruik it. Head on over to the my YouTube page. There's a join button which lets you join to become a member. Everything that comes from the members' payments and everything from the advertising, plus a good chunk from my own wallet, goes on buying stuff purely for the channel. And as I said, what I'm going to do is save up a couple of months or 3 months to get enough to cover that colour event calendar. Alia Rose, I love me some advent calendars anyhow. A present a day for a whole month. Yes, please. Yeah, I say I don't eat the chocolate. My wife has that, but so she likes getting them every day. The first year I did these, I was able to get a Mandalorian calendar. So that had Baby Yoda, I think he was called at the time, or Grogu as we call him now. Let me just try and move this up a wee bit. But last year, the last 2 years, no matter how we looked, we couldn't find anything other than the normal calendar, the normal Cadbury's calendars. Well, saying that, yes, we could find, but there were not things that, I think they were like more little kid ones, not things that I would say I watch. Star Wars I do, so that's why I was happy enough to have that. So yeah, we're starting to look now because certainly Christmas stuff is appearing in the supermarkets already. So hopefully over the next 2 or 3 weeks we'll actually be able to get one and get that ready. Really, I love doing the ink event videos. As I said to you, I do record them a bit in advance because of time constraints. I think the first one, as long as everything's here, I'll be recording the first block on the 4th of November. But then because of everything else I'm doing, it might be, I think it's another 2 weeks before I get to record the next 3. So it's spread out. I actually filmed the one for the 25th of December. I think I'm filming that something like the 22nd of December, somewhere around there. So it's spread out, but it gets closer and closer as we're going along. So yeah, I've got all them planned out now in my schedule, and I've got some summary videos for afterwards where I'll look at all of them as collections. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I know I keep spruiking up my inky countdown. Let's see if there are any more. Brad Wave, does anyone have experience with narwhal pens? I've read mixed opinions. I love my narwhal pens. Let me just grab the right tray. So this is my tray for USA pens because Narwhal's a USA company. So there's the Schuylkill. I've got a couple of these. One's inked up at the moment. This is a Paul Peter navy colour. Yep, this one's got a narwhal nib. The nibs are number 6 nibs and easy to swap with Yoho nibs. I did try a Bock nib once, but it's just not the right fitting. So it still writes well, but it would click as I was writing. Key West. So this is actually I think it's their one and only cartridge converter. There we go. I've got a couple of these. I've got this purple one. I've also got the yellow one. Again, really nice. And there's a nib on that one, a narwhal nib. I'll show this one. No, I won't. I'll show the other one. And then I've got a couple of these. These are the Nautilus. There's a lot of different model names for these now. A lot of the pens coming out have this sort of shape. Some of them have these windows, but some of them, like this one here, this is a 365 version. I've got a proper ink window. I really like them. I love my narwhal pens. I've got a number of them, as you've just seen, and they're dead easy to swap nibs. Blonde Scales 1, I like my Narvalos. I know When I'm writing for myself, I have to say Narvalo to make sure I get it spelt wrong, but apparently it is pronounced Narwhal. Alia Rose, Bradwave, quality seems the same as Asvine, so nice. Bradwave, glad to hear that. Alia Rose, apparently the parts are interchangeable between the two brands on some models, which is interesting. Yeah, so Narwhal, the company, I say, is an American company, but the pen's made in China. And I think it's Doug Rathbun, I think he, on Inquiring Minds, I think it was him who actually did some swapping between them. And I think he also did, he looked at Twisby and Narwhal as well, but I'm not 100% certain on that because that's from a while back. But yeah, Yoho nibs I find fit really, really well, dead easy to do. Blonde Scales 1, if you want a cartridge converter, Narwhal the Key West 2024 Pride pen is one. Awesome, there's a really good other option for you. I say I've got 2 Key Wests. I haven't got any more because I think 2's enough. I've got 2 different nibs. Blonde Scales 1. Okay, guess all the Key West ones are. Yeah, I think that's their only model which has a converter. All the rest are piston fillers. Bradwave, thanks Gary for your feedback on the Narwhals. Bradwave, yeah, I'm pretty sure some parts are made in the same factory. Absolutely they are. Ricardo, yeah, it was Doug. I knew it was somebody because I know I watched it with interest. Right, so there's no more comments, so let me switch over to the screen to see if any more come in. Let's run presentation mode. So last week's videos, as we've already discussed, I can't talk. So last week's videos, as we've already discussed, Fountain Pen Tournament Heat 1 on Sunday. Really good. Enjoyed it. I love doing this tournament. Obviously, again, I record a little bit ahead of time for the heats because I can. So I'm actually recording heat number 5 tomorrow. So there's some really nice combos, pens coming up. Tuesday, that was Who's the Dado? So that's where we looked at the Jinhao Dado pens, the 9013, 9016 and 9019. Trying to get those numbers right in my head was a little bit of a journey. In a way, I can understand why these companies use numbers. I struggle with numbers. I find them hard to keep straight in my head. Whereas names of pens are dead easy, like this. I know this is a Platypus model pen, Model 10. I know this is the Leonardo Ferrari. If it was the Leonardo 769, I might struggle with remembering what that's called, but that's just me. And then Friday, I did an ink comparison. So I did Diamond Yuletide, which I showed in one of my pens earlier on. And I put that up against Octopus Fluids Petrol Axolotl, which is a pigmented ink. The only pigment ink I've got. Really interesting. I'm trying to play around a bit more with that pigmented ink, just to see how far I can push it, how it handles being left in a pen for a long time. I'm only using cheap pens, by the way, for that. So that's something I'm working on at the moment. The reason I've got the ink, I actually won it. Every week, the Pen Addict in his emails has a giveaway, usually on a Wednesday my time. I'm guessing that's a Tuesday in the US. And I was lucky enough, I won one. And it was this Petrol Axolotl ink. So really pleased with that. And, absolutely awesome to win something. No, the keyboard's gone back to sleep, so I have to use the mouse. So next week's video. So obviously today, it's heat number 2 of the Fountain Pen Tournament. All the Fountain Pen Tournament videos, they're going to be on a Sunday. And I think the final is actually in December sometime. So looking forward to that. I've already said earlier on what the pens are. Just pull the paper over. So just as a reminder, it's the Jinhao 250, Mahjong P136 and the Tigerloo 316. On Tuesday, that's got a typo in it. It's the TWSBI VAC 700R Kyanite First Impressions, a pen that was gifted to me. Very much appreciate that. So that's my first impressions of that. And on Friday is the halftime report. So how I've been getting on with my pens during the month. That's VAC 700. I'm going to come back to that. Oh, it's a beautiful pen. And as I've used it after recording that video, the writing experience is only improving. It's getting nicer and nicer. Now onto my cordial in my... Oh, you can't see it. I'll show you when I've got the camera back on. And then my book of the week. So I'm still working through The Third Kingdom by Terry Goodkind. I'm about 80% of the way through, so I'll finish it maybe tomorrow. Could be Tuesday. Then I'll be going back to Terry Pratchett for a few books, and then back to Terry Goodkind again. I'm really enjoying doing this where I'm swapping between authors, but only the same two authors, because it keeps things fresh. So sometimes I find, like when I started rereading the Terry Goodkind books, I was reading one after the other, and I felt it was starting to get a little bit, boring's not the right word, maybe monotonous. So by swapping authors, I'm really enjoying that. This Third Kingdom, really interesting. Obviously carrying on with Richard and Kaelin. Very much being focused on Richard for the bulk of the book. In the back half, we've got a little bit more coming in about Kaelin. And it's exploring, after the previous book, the Omen Machine, where they were trapped by a hedge witch, managed to escape, but that did cause some lingering issues. And it also starts looking at where that hedge witch came from and the reasons for that. Now we're in the last 20% of the book. Normally I find with Terry Goodkind books, a lot happens, usually in the last 10%, but does fetch it all together and then leaves that cliffhanger for the next book. So, yeah, hopefully another couple of days and that'll be done. Let's head back to the camera. Close that one down, close that one down. So as I was saying, there's today's glass, Star Wars, and I've got Fruit Cup Cordial today. Back to the comments. So Will, hello all. Hope all well, a little bit late, but I made it. Welcome to you, Will. Ricardo, hello. Blonde Scales 1, interesting screen showing. Oh, that's interesting. Let's go back to the screen. Why is it showing that? So what you're seeing there is it's not even an up-to-date one. This is some kind of from a couple of hours ago, showing my essentially my email and my tasks. But weird. The wonders of OBS, isn't it? I don't know why that was doing that. I've had this before with OBS where it started showing the wrong screen. So that's something for me to play with. Andreas, Garry, you're showing us a different screen. Blonde Scales 1, no message selected. Alia Rose. Oh, Alia Rose. Oh, that incredible Antarctic wind dry Sailor Pro Gear Slim. I shimmed it last stream. Right straight now. Not swamp wet, but nice mountain brook wet. Awesome. I've noticed that I've only got one sailor, well, one gold nib sailor, and I do think that's a beautiful writer. BJ, I use a lot of platinum carbon black and diatramentis document inks. Don't really see any difference between them and dye-based inks. Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and I did warn a lot in the thing, it's down to the way it dries in a pen if it's left in a pen for too long. because it's a pigment, it could dry out a bit, and you start to see actually bits of the pigment. That's what I don't know. It was something I read on the internet, so we don't know how true it is. Artful Stationer, hi Gary, hello all. I'm late, but hello. But here, hello from Albany in New York. Welcome to you. Hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of the rest of the stream. Any more comments? I'm interested why that. I'm going to have to play with OBS now because I need to understand why that happens. I hate that, that's something for me to play with later on in the day. So, earlier on I mentioned about next month's theme. So I've just pulled out my database. So next month, my theme for the month is going to be pocket pens. So that's going to be interesting. So I've already, obviously, there'll be the Kaweco Sport, there'll be the Pilot E95S, and there'll be a Jinhao 992. They're three that I'm definitely aware of at the moment. I haven't thought of any other ones yet. I need to, sit down and go through my pen collection. So the idea is, I'm calling it pocket pens. I may not have enough to use just pocket pens, but the idea is it will be the smaller pens. So really looking forward to that. Let me check for more comments. So thank you all for your time. I've just checked the comments. I'll check them again in a minute. I know I keep saying this. I absolutely love doing these. I'm going to move that camera again. Get me in the frame rather than the ceiling. Membership, I did mention earlier, membership is available. Members get videos that about roughly 2 days earlier. So today I'll be putting out the. So today members will be getting the video that everyone else gets to see on Tuesday. I do a members only video on a Saturday, which is all the pens I've been using the week before. That's normally about 2 or 3 minutes. We've also got members out. I say hopefully this week we'll be doing that members only Zoom on Saturday morning my time, which is Friday evening US time, and some silly time of the day in London or in the UK. I know I've got at least one member in the UK. So it's there. Head on over to my YouTube community page, or YouTube page. You'll see there a join button. If you hit that, it'll guide you through. Blonde Scales 1. Your little cult pens exclusive. Yeah, no, that one won't be getting used. I might pull it out when I talk about them. It's just too small, really is. I can't use it as much as I'd like to as part of that month. I'll think about it, but I don't know. I'm not happy with it. It's just way too small and thin for me to use, which is such a shame because it's a nice looking little pen. BJ, the Pilot Prairie, yeah, I forgot about that one. Awesome. So as I say, I'll be going through the pens over the next week or so to start getting that ready, because obviously I need to identify the pens and pick my inks and get them all inked up, get them tested. Ricardo, thanks for the live and have a great week, everyone. Yep, have a great week to all of you. It should be a good week for everyone, hopefully. One more thing in the comments, if there's anything else. So thank you all. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're able to, please join as a member. Yeah, all the membership fees, as I was saying earlier on, all the advertising money gets fed back into buying other things. We've got another comment. Andreas, interested if people think the Pilot capless / vanishing point is a pocket pen. Oh, that'll be an interesting discussion. Blonde Scales 1, have a great week all. Do another refresh. Okay, and I'll leave the comments open whilst the outro plays. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you again soon.